I grew up 4 blocks from Lincoln Center. As someone who loved theater so much, I used to walk by and see the long lines into the opera and long lines into the ballet, and I would dream of being a performer. Over the years, as I got older, I became more rebellious. Sometimes I would sneak out and I was kind of bad. I would go down to all kinds of places with my friends in the village. When I grew up by Lincoln Center, I wasn't able to access all of the things that were on the Lower East Side. And I wasn't in a school that was enriching me culturally in that way. It was like I needed to myself up and go lick the ground for a couple of years to understand New York City and understand a whole different side of the pavement. In one way, I couldn't wait to get out. But in another way, it wasn't that I wanted to get out of New York, it's that I wanted to get deeper into New York. When I first moved down there, I just didn't have a lot of money to pay rent. I think it was $1,100 a month. And that was a lot of effing money to make. I go dance. I got a job as a waitress, and my dad paid half my month's rent for 3 months in a row until I got on my feet. And then he said, you have a year to make something happen, or I'm gonna make you go back to school.
What were you looking for?
I wanted to live alone, live in solitude with my music and read poetry and be overly dramatic about everything. And that's what I did.
Do you remember what your first show was like?
Remember, I had on a big white hippie skirt and a green tube top. And I put a flower in my hair. I played a bunch of songs that nobody knew. Didn't give a I did like an hour-and-a-half set. Isn't that funny? My first show, what was I thinking? An hour and a half? Who gives a shit? Nobody knows who you are. I was so delusional. I play for an hour and a half now. I have songs people want to hear. But back then I just thought to myself, well, if I'm a real professional, I will give off the illusion of professionalism, like I know what I'm doing. Always after the show, someone would go, you got some pipes. You really got some pipes. Or I like that one song, Hollywood. I like that song. There's this one song that I had called Hollywood. Hollywood, Hollywood. And then I was like, I don't want to be stuck at the piano anymore. I want to dance. I want to do something a little bit more revolutionary for my neighborhood. So I thought, okay, so what is nobody doing? And that was when I met Lady Starlight. I'm like, I'm Lady Gaga. She goes, I'm Lady Starlight. But we're both ladies. And we became friends. And I called her one day and I said, you know what would really piss me off? She said, what? I said, if there were 2 hot girls in bikinis playing pop music with synthesizers and turntables, dancing to heavy metal records in between each song. She goes, that would really piss me off. Let's do it. We used to light hairspray on fire, and we would get in so much trouble, Lord Jesus. I remember at the knitting factory, we were opening up for the semi-precious weapons, and the promoter was like, you f***ing hookers! Do you want to burn the place down? And we're listening to Metal Militia by Metallica. We were laughing backstage. We were like, oh no, we're never gonna get to play the knitting factory again. And then I said to her, or they will never forget us. There was one moment when I thought we were onto something. We performed at Rockwood Music Hall. It's teeny tiny. It fits 30 people in it. This really little stage. Barely fit our stuff on it. And our turntables, we didn't have a lot of money, so they were like those really ones that if you even breathe on them, they skip. This was like super inexpensive, but nobody on the Lower East Side was doing anything even remotely like it. In fact, it was kind of uncool to be doing it, so it became cool because we were the only people doing anything like it, and we would plug in all these crazy party favors, and we would throw glitter, and we would dance in matching bikinis that cost us $4 to make. And I got dub plates pressed in Brooklyn with my beats on them, so she would spin the dub plates. I remember we were wearing Iron Maiden t-shirts. We'd made these hot pink fluorescent headbands. We were posed like this, and our song by Heavy Metal Kids, Hey Little Girl, came on. You got what it takes, you know what I want. And we used to just freestyle and try to match each other. We used to sometimes say we were a pop burlesque show. And I'll never forget it. I was in the middle of singing my song, Blueberry Kisses, Blueberry Kisses. My lips, they misses, oh yeah. And Colleen looked over at me and she goes, psst, Gaga. I looked at her and she goes, look outside. I looked outside and there was like at least 100 people in the streets with cameras out, staring through the window. She looked at me and she goes, something's happening. I don't know what it is, but something is happening. I just kept playing. I just remember my dad came and he got really, really upset. And he didn't talk to me for weeks.
What was that like?
I remember feeling really sad, and I remember feeling really misunderstood, and I remember feeling like I'd let him down. But then I also remember thinking to myself, someday he will understand why I did all of this. And I was right.